Hi everyone, I've had the Pocket 3 for a few months now and I've tried it out in quite a few situations. I've also been using the Pocket 2 quite extensively for the last 2 years. So how good is the Pocket 3 and is it worth upgrading if you already own a Pocket 2? In this video I'm going to give you my own non-sponsored impartial review of the Pocket 3 and I've not received any incentive to write this review, so I'm going to give you my honest thoughts about using this new camera, and I bought it with my own money. Okay, so first, unlike the majority of the big reviewers out there on YouTube who get the product for free, are paid or incentivized to give a favorable review, being a really small channel, and you can help the channel grow by hitting that subscribe button, of course, I've bought the camera for my own money and I've been trialing out for the last few months. Now, I'm going to give you my honest feedback on the things I do like and the things that I don't like about the camera. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm not going to do any unboxing, or I'm going to go into heavily into any specs as they're all over the web. Instead, I'm going to focus on the main differences between the Pocket 3 and the Pocket 2 and how good they are or not. Now, the first thing to notice about the Pocket 3 is the new larger twistable screen. Now, one of the things I found really frustrating with the Pocket 2 is its tiny screen. So other than a quick check to make sure things are in focus, I found it really fiddly to use. Now, DJI have addressed this with this brand new screen on the Pocket 3. You just simply twist it horizontally and the camera is going to come on in the default direction. Now, it certainly seems brighter, clearer and more responsive. Now, with the Pocket 2, I found that in a lot of time I was pairing it with the mobile via the expansion brackets in order to overcome the issue of the small screen. But this, of course, added inconvenience and bulk to the camera. Now, with the Pocket 3's bigger screen, I found so far it's a pretty enough decent size to not need to be paired with a mobile. So this screen really is a big plus feature and gets the thumbs up from me. Alright, let's now talk about the build quality. So the overall build seems quite a bit tougher with really strong plastic. The gimbal head itself is definitely larger and it feels physically stronger and tougher than the one in the Pocket 2. And it certainly looks like it could take a few knocks and still survive. Now, believe me, I've knocked the gimbal on the Pocket 2 so many countless times on and off. It's got a few scratches on the gimbal heads and a few wounds like that, but other than giving me a little bit of a naughty you've been naughty message on the screen, it carries on happily afterwards. Now, the Pocket 3 having a much tougher gimbal head, I'm sure it's going to be a bit more forgiving for clumsy idiots like me. Now, I've even dropped the Pocket 2 on the ground while it's been on, and that's really given me the sweats. But fortunately it survives, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to probably drop the Pocket 3 at some points, and I'm still confident it's going to still survive. Alright, let's now talk about the size of the Pocket 3. So when putting the Pocket 3 next to the Pocket 2, there doesn't seem to be that much difference in size. Now, the Pocket 3 is marginally bigger, and it's certainly a bit taller and a bit fatter. And it feels a bit heavier and more bulky in comparison to the Pocket 2, but the size difference is, quite slight. Now, if you're into discreet walking videos and you don't like to bring attention to yourself while filming, the Pocket 3 is certainly bigger and is certainly more noticeable. It's not easy to hide in one hand compared to the Pocket 2. Now, one thing to note is that the Pocket 3 gets so much bigger when you add on the tripod extension. Now, I often want to put the Pocket on a tripod and use the active tracking mode while I wander around. Now, the Pocket 3 needs the tripod handle thing to get access to the tripod socket. And as soon as it's on, the Pocket 3 becomes quite a lot larger, whereas the tripod socket was actually built into the base of the Pocket 2. Now, when we put these side by side with the tripod stand, you can see there's quite a bit difference in the height between the two. However, it could be that the reason for putting the Pocket on the tripod is to allow for remote control recording. Now, if that's the case, then the Pocket 2 needs to use the do-it-all handle in order to enable Wi-Fi. So as soon as that's plugged in, then the two Pockets are probably quite similar in height, to be fair. Now, on the Pocket 3, I think the DJI did this in order to provide a little bit of extra hand space because of, for probably larger Western hands, but I'd rather there was a choice whether you wanted a USB-C socket on one handle or a tripod socket on another, with the Pocket 3 being much smaller. Now, it's unlikely you want to use the USB socket if you're using it on a tripod at the same time. Well, that's my view, and I'm not a product designer, so what do I know? Alright, let's talk about the lens size. Now, I've already mentioned that the gimbal head size is physically bigger than the one on the Pocket 2, which means that any lens you've purchased for the Pocket 2 unfortunately is not going to work on the Pocket 3. So if you have any ND polarizing filters, then these would unfortunately need to be repurchased. But with a bigger lens size has a couple of advantages. First, being a larger glass is going to mean a much more light gathering abilities and so better image quality. And second, the lenses and the filters are actually physically bigger. Now take the wide angle lens that comes as part of the Creator combo, for example. Now the one on the Pocket 2 was so tiny and thin, and being so tiny for my fat fingers and big hands, it makes it almost impossible and fiddly to take it on and off, let alone, almost definitely going to lose it. Now the macro lens that I got for the Pocket 2 was even smaller. I mean, literally microscopic. It's so hard to pick up, and it's even worse than the wide angle. So compare it to the one on the Pocket 3, which is certainly bigger and thicker. So although it's small, it's a bit more of a manageable size. Now, one of the advantages of the Pocket cameras is the ability to control the camera remotely via the mobile phone. Now this is great for filming yourself solo. Now one of the things that really annoy me about the Pocket 2 is the need to plug in that stupid do-it-all handle in order to enable the Wi-Fi to allow for remote recordings. And I've completely lost count of the number of times I went out, taking the Pocket 2 with me to realise I left a stupid thing at home and I was unable to record Wi-Fi. I'm so pleased that the Pocket 3 has the Wi-Fi built into the base, so there's no need for an extra handle. Now it's a little bit strange that there's no need for a handle for Wi-Fi on the Pocket 3, but there is a need to put the handle to get access to a tripod. So what DJI gives away with one hand, they seem to take away with another. And I'm probably going to end up to forget to take the stupid tripod handle and leave that at home instead. Now I also hope that the connection where the handle clips into the bottom is quite solid and reliable. The one on the Pocket 2 seems to be a little bit more secure to me, but the one on the Pocket 3 seems a little bit wobbly. Now if I put the Pocket 3 on the end of a long extension stick, I hope it's not going to break on me. Okay, and I now want to talk to you about the image quality. So one of the main complaints of the Pocket 2 was that it didn't have great performance in low light, and it was quite noisy, which is hardly surprising considering the sensor size. Now this is an area that's been greatly improved by DJI with the Pocket 3 with its much larger 1-inch sensor. Now this is going to greatly improve in particularly the low light performance and allow for higher ISOs with less noise. So much so they've actually got a special low light mode built into the Pocket 3. Now I've done quite a few tests around this with the comparison of the Pocket 2, which you can check out here. And there are quite a few examples of the Pocket 3 in low light performance, and everyone thinks it's so much better. Alright, let's now talk about the dynamic range. So I've noticed that the dynamic range on the Pocket 3 has improved as well. If we take a look at this shot of a typical walking tour video where I've deliberately faced towards the sun, notice how there's the better contrast and detail in the sky around the sun compared with the Pocket 3 and the Pocket 2. Now this is shot in normal colour mode, not log, so the overall exposure is still much nicer. Now, I want to now talk about the image sharpness and noise reduction. Now, one of the interesting upgrades on the Pocket 3 is the ability to set a custom sharpness and noise reduction, which is available in the Pro settings. So it's now possible to choose to increase the sharpness to make it more digital or digital-like, or sharper than the default. If that's what you like, if you want to, you can reduce the sharpness to get a more film-like look. We can also change the noise reduction. Now, so this is image noise and not sound noise. So you can experiment with different image noise levels depending on whether you like to sacrifice image noise in the shadows for a more detailed image in low light, for example. Now this is something that you couldn't do on the Pocket 2. Now before we move on to talk about the feature upgrades for vloggers, I want to briefly mention about the battery life and charging. So the capacity of the battery on the Pocket 3 has been increased quite substantially, and so it has a much better battery life compared to the Pocket 2. Now the Pocket 3 can do over 2.5 hours of recording in 4K compared to about 2 hours on the Pocket 2. Now although the battery life is so much better, now one of the Pocket 3 accessories available is a battery pack handle. Now this plugs directly into the USB-C socket at the bottom of the Pocket 3 and will increase the battery life even further. So it's certainly a nice accessory to get more battery life. Now the other nice thing about the battery on this handle pack is that it gets used first, and then it's going to switch to the battery on the Pocket 3 once it's finished. So while the Pocket 3 battery is being used, the handle could itself be detached and then charged and then used again. So you almost kind of get almost like an infinite power supply. Now there's also been an improvement with the charging speed. So the Pocket 2 took probably a good hour to get to about 70%. And the Pocket 3 now supports fast charging when charged into an appropriate charger of at least 30 watts. When that happens, the message fast charging will appear. You also get a nice green circle to show the percentage charged. The Pocket 2 just flashed away with little LEDs, so you had absolutely no idea how much time was left to charge it. Alright, and now finally let's talk about the features for vloggers. So the Pocket 3 has been specifically improved and upgraded for features important to vloggers. First, the audio quality of the internal microphones have been improved. It now has a 3 mic array, which is supposed to have better wind reduction. Now in my test, it does appear that's true, and I'm really quite happy with the audio quality both on the inside and outside environments. But of course, adding an external microphone is always going to be so much better. But if you need to, the internal mics are perfectly fine. Also for vloggers is an improved glamour features. Now the one on the Pocket 2 was generally just on and off with I think 3 levels of adjustments. The one on the Pocket 3 now has a whole load of options which can be controlled with the DJI Mimo app, including face thing, messing around with the lips, skin smoothing and all sorts of stuff. So vloggers may find that the ability to customize the glamour features particularly welcome. Now also for vloggers is a new focus mode which is specifically used for showing off products, if that's your type of vlogging. So the Sony ZV-1 vlogging camera had this feature which has become really popular, so DJI have now added it to the Pocket 3. Now to get to the product mode you need to swipe from the right to the left to get access to the Pro settings and then down to the focus mode. Now in addition to the normal modes of single and continuous focus, there is now a product focus mode. With that activated, in theory, Pocket 3 will have the focus priority on any product appearing in the center of the screen rather than the face, which it normally does. Now the advantage of the 1-inch sensor for vloggers is the ability for the background to become much more blurred. So you get that lovely bokeh effects that everyone loves that's usually just in the realms for the DSLRs, but it's now available on the Pocket 3. Now obviously it's not going to be in any way as good as the one on a DSLR lens, but with a better lens and sensor, but it's going to give you quite a nice defocused background which looks so much better for vlogging. Now in my experiments with the Pocket 3, I was also impressed with the skin tones improvements and the handling of backlight situations, so check out this video linked here for more information about this. And when doing comparison with the Pocket 2, the handling of the skin tones on the Pocket 3 in crappy light situation was also pretty impressive. Also, I love the way you can improve the shadows on the face in a backlit situation. That really blew me away, and I was certainly not expecting that. Also, active tracking has been improved, which is of particular interest for those that do vlogging. Now it's now got active tracking 6.0, and in my experiments it's so much better keeping track of the face when you move it around, and you can simply relocate the subject when it becomes temporarily lost behind another object. I've done a little bit of a experiment on this, and if I post the video then a link will be up here, or will be coming soon. Now the Pocket 2 face tracking was pretty good, but the Pocket 3 one is so much better, and I've been really impressed with it. Now I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of my minor gripes about the Pocket 3. Now no camera of course is perfect, but I like to be a bit picky. Now the Pocket 3 resolution in photo mode is only 9 megapixels compared to the Pocket 2's 64 megapixels. And I have absolutely no idea why they did this. It feels a little bit like a downgrade. Now resolution, as we know, is not the be all and end all of everything. Now a camera with a better lens, better and larger sensor, and will in reality take better quality photos than a higher resolution with a smaller sensor. Now before you argue in the comments, there's absolutely no disputing this, it's basic physics. Now my venerable 24 megapixel DSLR paired with a high quality lens is going to take so much better photos than a Pocket 2 with a 64 megapixel resolution. Now admittedly, as the DSLR gets older and the phones get better, the gap is going to narrow, but enough of that for now. However, only putting a 9 megapixel on the photo mode of the Pocket 3 does feel like a little bit of an odd move with its superior lens and sensor. Now, another little gripe is that the record button has been moved from the left to the right on the Pocket 3. That sounds really trivial, but being right-handed, on the Pocket 2, my thumb could rest quite easily on the record button and it fell naturally underneath it. But now on the Pocket 3, I have to remember to bring it purposely to the right, which just seems a little bit less comfortable and less natural. Now, in normal lighting conditions, it's quite easy to glance at the buttons to make sure, I'm actually pressing the button. But in the dark, in the no light situations, I have to keep feeling for the record button. Otherwise, my thumb keeps pressing the joystick to start the recording by mistake. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get used to it, but occasionally when I record on a Pocket 2, I just simply come back to the Pocket 3 and I forget where the button is. But if you're left-handed though, of course, it's now a dream because it's going to fall naturally onto your left thumb. Now, the next gripe is to do with the card slots, and I'm getting quite picky here. Now, with the Pocket 3 inside the little plastic coffin, if you want to get access to the storage cards, the gimbal needs to be pulled out quite a bit to get access to the cards. Now, if the card slot had been placed on the other side, facing upwards in the case, that would have been so much easier. Now, the next gripe is also related. Now, I like the indication of the charging level on the screen giving the number of % complete. That's really nice. Now, when the gimbal is being charged inside the little plastic case, the screen is actually looking downwards. So you need to lift it up to actually be able to, and take it out to be able to see the percentage, to see how far after it's charged. And then you have to put it back inside the case again. Now, since the Pocket 3 has to go in a certain way into the plastic case so the screen faces down, otherwise it doesn't fit. Now, in contrast, the Pocket 2 didn't really care about how you put it inside the case. And it also, had a little charging light that you could see facing upwards. So I don't see why they couldn't actually add a little tiny LED to the back of the Pocket 3 so you could quickly see whether it's actually fully charged. Now, one other tiny gripe again is that I found is there's no way of keeping the Pocket 3 in the Gimbal Locks mode without having to actually hold in the button with your thumb. And I find that gets quite tiring after some time when you press it in. On the Pocket 2, it was actually possible to just press the button and toggle it, and then toggle it and press it again to release it. But it doesn't seem possible on the Pocket 3. If you do know, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure hopefully it'll be available at one point in the firmware update. Now, the very final gripe is about the fact that none of the accessories from the Pocket 2 work on the Pocket 3. I know why, because the lens is bigger, but I've invested quite a lot on various lenses for the Pocket 2 and nothing is compatible. Now, a cynical person could say that the DJI could try and take more money from us, but I'm not that cynical. Well, actually, it's not true. There is one accessory that does work, and that's a little tiny tripod that came as part of the Pocket 2 Creator Combo. And you can simply screw that into the bottom of the Pocket 3. Okay, so I'm going to bring this video to the close as the video is already quite long. Now, there are quite a lot of things I could talk about in the future, so I'm going to do that in another video, perhaps in the future. So ensure that you're subscribed to keep up to date with my videos as they come out. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover about the Pocket 3 or any other gadgets and techniques, let me know in the comments and I'll try and accommodate them for you. Other than that, best wishes guys, take care, and I shall see you soon on another video.